Heads, but we were hyped about was Fury Wilder 3. How'd you feel about that one?
That fight was amazing.
Yes, the best heavyweight fight, some people are saying, in history.
It was a bit sloppy, but it was...
Who was sloppy, though? Deontay?
Well, there was a bunch of knockdowns, which I don't know if it's sloppy, but like...
Or they were just catching each other.
They were catching... And then Fury got knocked out twice. In one round for the first time in his career.
Oh, my God. And it's so crazy that Deontay Wilder did that in the 12th round in the first fight, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like we saw him come back to life. And you see that happen twice. He come in, like, what does it take to put him down? That must have been what Deontay Wilder was thinking. What does it take, right?
You can't defeat anyone with a heart, bro.
No,
I think
can't.
Fury wanted it more.
Oh, for sure. And, man, I can't believe Deontay Wilder, like, he said he was training, this was the grudge match. This was the end-all, be-all, and he still lost.
And he still made excuses
afterwards. At the end of the fight.
And then I remember there was memes before the fight where they had a list of the possible excuses that he was going to use. My hand hurt or something like that.
My hand hurt. Oh, my. And there were some people during that time that were saying that Tyson Fury cheated in the previous fight.
Oh, because of his gloves, right?
Because of the gloves or something.
And then
like that.
There were people saying you should check the gloves. You should have checked the gloves before the third fight.
Oh, did they do that, or they're supposed to do that? That's part of protocol, isn't it?
Yeah, that's part of protocol. So I don't know what's the worry.
I don't know. As long as there's no. You ever heard of the story about Billy Collins Jr.?
No.
Luis Resto. Wow, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna try to explain this.
Do so.
So, I think it was in like the 70s or the 80s. It was way back then. There was this new prospect by the name of Billy Collins Jr. He was undefeated, and he fought another guy by the name of Luis Resto. Now, the trainer of Luis Resto, he had a previous controversy with another fighter. I don't remember the name at this point, but there was a controversy when they went to the 13 to 14 round. So this was way back when, right? And in one of the last rounds, he said, "Hey, give me this bottle, the one I mixed." And he's like, people were thinking, "Well, why is it mixed? Like,
it's water.
How are you gonna mix water, right?" And they were theorizing or saying that it may have been like a jab of cocaine, and that's why the guy came out.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, he came out like a bat out of the hell and won the fight in the last round. Now, fast forward to this fight. Luis Resto the people thought he was going to lose against this new prospect, but he brutalized Billy Collins Jr. He brutalized him, and this guy had so much heart. He stayed until the entire fight. I shut everything.
Oh, you know what? I have heard of this.
Yes.
Well, I probably didn't know the details, but I've seen the images of how his face looked afterwards.
Yes.
It was insane.
Yeah, it's insane. And come to find out, when they're shaking hands after the fight, the father goes to shake Luis Resto's hand, and he feels the glove, and all the padding was removed. He's like, all the paddings, all the goddamn gloves, what's going on here? So that was part of the trick where they would remove some parts. But it was also revealed that there were also plaster wraps of plaster, and then he used it against Billy Collins Jr.
I suspect that they suspended him or expelled him.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's attempted murder, pretty much.
Yeah, and then the bad part about that one was when they went to, because there was another story about a photographer who went to go see Billy Collins Jr. like after the fight. He asked him after taking pictures of like his injury. He said, "Why?" Or someone asked him, "Why weren't his eyes open?" And he said, "They were." That's how bad the injury was. And then we got things like fast forward years later with I forget, Margarito, when he did the plaster wraps against Cotto. And
I've heard of that one.
He brutalized Cotto, and then they found out when he fought Sugar Shane Mosley, and then his camp was like, "What the hell is wrong with his wraps? There's something wrong here." Now, and then they realized, oh, he had wraps of plaster, and then Cotto beat him in the rematch, and that's what happened. So when they say, "Oh, he's cheating with his gloves," I'm like, bro, imagine how.
And
hard.
They check it, but they check it pretty thoroughly. They look at you wrap them, and there's and then often before the fight they show video of the fighters wrapping their gloves.
Yeah, so I was thinking, even if he was cheating, oh my god, like the way he was outboxing him, the way he was catching him, the way he fought him, I don't know if it would have made a difference whether there was extra padding or not.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't remember the first time we talked about Fury.
Yeah.
I did not know much about Fury. I just before the podcast, I watched the fights. Like, okay, that's cool. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it, bro. I went into a tangent looking at Fury things.
Just like with Connor.
Like it with Connor. I saw his background, bro. I respect Fury
Ooh.
so much more,
Oh yeah.
especially with mental health.
All with the mental health. Yeah, man. He came back harder than stronger than ever. And his charisma too when he talks about mental health, like how subtle he is when he talks about it. But then when he talks about getting back up, it's like that Gypsy King comes
yeah.
out of him, and he explains it so well. It's amazing. There's so many motivation videos out there.
And I'm glad he uses his platform for mental health. It's something amazing. He has the privilege to do so, and he decides to talk about mental health.
And then what do you think is next? What do you hope for next to see for Tyson Fury?
I think he should take his little break.
Take his break?
Very deserved, very deserved. This has been years in the making.
Oh, for sure.
And he reached the pinnacle of what he wanted.
For sure.
I hope.
Do you think he can fight the other heavyweight champion and unify the titles? Do you think that's coming
What
soon?
kind of question is that? Well, can he or will he?
Will he? Because it's a matter of it happening or them agreeing to at this point. I'm pretty sure he can, but it's a matter of them making it happen.
If he could defeat Wilder, he could defeat anyone else.
He could defeat anybody else.
The Alabama Slam. What did they say? The Alabama Slammer or something?
I'm the Alabama Slammer. I don't know.
He says it.
But he always says some things, man. He's always.
Did you see the interview beforehand?
No. What do you say?
Where they just started talking like they were in a table, and then it was just a yelling match by the end.
Oh god. Getting in each other's face or just saying all that, yeah.
And they talk about, I have God on my side, Fury, and then
I've got on my side, Fury.
And then Wilder, no, Fury said that.
Fury said that to Wilder, yeah.
And then he somehow being the Bronx Bomber. I don't know, it was insane. You couldn't.
You can't make this up. You can't make it up. It's it's crazy.
It restored the heavyweight division.
Oh, for sure. We were talking about how the heavyweight division is coming back in such a huge way, and now everybody saw what the heavyweight division is and can be.
You know what? Not only any fighting sport in any division is going up. Invest in fighting.
Oh, for sure. And